Shirley. Now I'd like to call Dr. Alan Abramson, who is here today on behalf of ARNOVA, one of our lead partners. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. And thanks to the Congresswoman for her tremendous leadership on this issue. I teach at George Mason University, teach nonprofit management, but today talking on behalf of ARNOVA, which is the 1,000-member association of nonprofit researchers at universities across the country. We are so pleased that this bill includes important provisions on nonprofit data and research. There's a sexy subject for 9 o'clock in the morning, nonprofit data and research. My colleagues have already talked about the important stake that this country has in the nonprofit sector. As they've said, the nonprofit sector employs 10% of the population. It delivers important services, health services, human services. When we have disasters, we turn to the nonprofit sector for help. And it's also the way we express ourselves through the nonprofit sector to help our neighbors in need. This is an important sector. But unfortunately, our data and research about the sector is just woeful. We're lacking very basic information about the sector, and I'm so pleased that this bill includes important provisions that will address that situation. Let me just give you 3 examples of some of the problems. Right now, think about the for-profit sector. We know on a second-by-second basis, the Dow Jones average, we know on a second-by-second basis how the for-profit sector is doing. What about the nonprofit sector? It takes us 2 years to get good data about the nonprofit sector. The sector could fall off the earth and we wouldn't know about it for 2 years. Very, very unfortunate. In thinking about public policy, we often have claims that, well, the government may be in a budget-cutting mode, but don't worry so much about that because private philanthropy will fill the gap. Well, we really don't know the facts about that unless we have good information about how much government support matters to nonprofits and really what is the capacity of private philanthropy. So we need better data about that. And a third area, both recent administrations have been interested in more support of faith-based approaches to delivering services. But even there, we don't have good information about the capacity of these faith-based institutions to deliver services. We need better information about what they're doing and what they need. So in these areas and many more, we need better information. Right now, I think we're really operating in the dark. Members of Congress, the executive branch, nonprofit leaders themselves really don't have a good understanding and are operating in the dark. And that's why I am so pleased that this bill has important provisions that provide for better data and provide for more research where it's needed. Think about other areas of the world where there's been a public interest in having a better understanding. The Soviet Union back in the day, the Muslim world now, China. When there's a public interest in better information, the government gets involved and supports data and research. Well, I'd say the nonprofit sector is an area of our country, an important sector that needs that greater federal involvement. So we're pleased again that this bill has good provisions on data and research.